What's going on, everybody? This is your boy Mano coming at you with a video. I want to talk about something real quick here. This video is not going to be too long, at least I don't think it's going to be. But I want to talk about the Houston Texans season and what we projected, throughout the season. A lot of people at this point, projected that the Texans would finish with a 9-7 or 8-8 or 7-9 season or something like that. Well, we already surpassed a lot of those. You know what I'm saying? So it's just one of those things to where you kind of have to think about this. You know, a lot of the plays that's being called, a lot of people don't realize these plays are being called a lot during the season. Now, I'm not saying do it every game because I know that's not true, but they are being called a lot during the season. Sometimes they work, sometimes they don't. It is what it is. uh, as you currently know, we are currently first in the AFC South, like a game or a game and a half or something like that above the Tennessee Titans. The Colts are, I guess you could say, kind of out of it. Not mathematically yet. If the Titans start losing and we start losing and the Colts keep winning, they could probably take over the AFC South. Probably. It all depends, I guess. But we're doing pretty good right now. Now, another thing I want to talk about is something real quick here. I saw this on the NFL app that our power rankings, we are number 7. And I know that they're going off of records, which is, I guess you could say, it's cool, I guess. But I'm not too fond of that, I guess you could say, because what your record doesn't always mean that you are the best. You know what I'm saying? I think that was Bill Parcells, I think it was, or whoever it was at the time, said, you are what your record say you are. That's not always true. You know what I'm saying? It's not. But hey, it is what it is. But I look at it like this here. Your record is only pertaining to who you played and at the time when you played them. Things of that nature, your opponent, was they fully ready for battle, for example? Was all the key stars there, like on your team, all that good stuff. But that's just how I look at it. I know everybody looks at it different. I know a lot of people are going to say, you are what your record say you are, and that's fine. But I just look at it different. But the reason why I'm saying that is because when you're playing good teams, good dominant teams, how do you hold up against those teams? Well, this is what I mean. Our very first game of the season, we played the New Orleans Saints. Now, it took a last second field goal for them to beat us. And it was like a 48-yard field goal, something of that nature, for them to beat us. Yes, we did lose the game, and I'm not trying to say nothing that we didn't lose and blah, 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 like a lot of people might say. I'm just basically saying we went toe-to-toe with Drew Brees in that game. Then the next, I guess you could say, somewhat dominant team, I guess you could say, was the Panthers. And at that time, when we played them, they was on a good roll. They was. They beat us 16-10. So we only held them to 16 points. And that's pretty good. You know what I'm saying? I know now you might look at it, the Panthers ain't doing all that because they just fired their coach Ron Rivera today. But at that particular moment, they was, pretty solid. Then our next dominant opponent was the Chiefs. We beat them 31-24. And we could have had a lot more points in that game, but our own mistakes with penalties and drop passes, kind of left a few points out there on the board. At least another 20, 21 points on the board. Probably more, but I'm going to say 20 to 21. Then we played at that particular time, like I just said, we played the Colts. We lost that game 23-30. Again, our own costly mistakes. Even though, we played a decent game, but our own costly mistakes, made us lose that particular game. Then we played the Raiders. And at that time, the Raiders was balling. I know they're not now, but at that particular time they was. We beat them 27 to 24, sorry. So, and they were playing good, solid defense against us. Then we played one of the most dominant teams this season, the Baltimore Ravens, after our bye week. Because we went over to London, versus the Jags. We played pretty good over there, and we beat the Jags 26-3. So I think that was pretty good dominant because we never been, to London to play, and so it was a new atmosphere for us. Early game, super early in the morning. So that was one of those. So, but going to the Baltimore Ravens, now that's when we laid an egg, I guess you could say. I looked at that game, I was like, we didn't even show up for that game. I was like, why? But it is what it is. Sometimes you're going to be dominant. You're going to dominate teams. Sometimes teams are going to dominate you. That's just how it goes. Sometimes you're going to have close losses. Sometimes you're going to have close wins. That's just how it goes. It's all about schemes and matchups. Then the next opponent we faced that was dominant was the Colts again. We beat them 20-17. That's what I'm saying. Sometimes, it's going to work like that in our favor. Sometimes it's not. But we beat them. Then the next dominant team, well, my personal opinion, this season they're not so dominant, was the New England Patriots. I know a lot of people are saying they're dominant because of Tom Brady and Bill Belichick. I'm not taking nothing away from them. They are good. Tom Brady is a good quarterback. Bill Belichick is a good coach. So I'm not taking nothing away from them. But the reason why I'm saying they're not so dominant this season, because when they played two good dominant teams, I guess you could say, in the Baltimore Ravens and the Houston Texans, they got their ass stomped. So my particular thing is this here. The reason why I'm bringing all this stuff up is because I think that our season is going pretty decent. You know what I'm saying? So we lost 4 games. We lost 4 games. We won 8. So I think we're doing pretty decent. So with all that being said, though, I do think that, man, our season is right where I think it should be. We're 8-4, which is pretty good. At this time of the year, and I look at it like this here. A lot of people don't understand. Bill O'Brien has had a winning season every season with the Texans, except for one season when we went. I think we went 4-12, if I'm not mistaken. Either 3-13 or 4-12, and that was the one season where everybody got hurt. We were bringing in people off of other people's practice squad. We was bringing in people out of retirement. you know, but that's the only season that we didn't have a winning season under Bill O'Brien. So I'm saying all this here to say that a lot of people like to say fire Bill O'Brien right off the bat when we lose. And as I mentioned earlier in this video, Bill O'Brien called a lot of the same plays. Sometimes they work, sometimes they don't. For example, since it might be fresh in people's memory, let's go back to the Patriots game. Bill O'Brien had called a crossing route. It was a touchdown pass. Will Fuller dropped it. Bill O'Brien called that. It's not Bill O'Brien's fault that Will Fuller dropped it. Then Deshaun Watson saw something and said, I'm finna go right back to it. But this time, Kenny Stills caught the touchdown pass. I'm saying all that to say that the same play was called. Sometimes it worked, Sometimes it don't. But when it don't work, the first thing out of people's mouth is fire the coach. But the second time when that play was called, Deshaun Watson audibled back into that same play, and this time it worked. But we all gave praise to Deshaun Watson for audibling back into that particular play. But the play was called in the very beginning. Well, not the very beginning, but the first time the play was called, it wasn't Bill O'Brien's fault that it was dropped. Will Fuller been having the dropsies, I guess you could say, since he was in college at Notre Dame. That was one knock on him, that he dropped a lot of passes. That was a huge knock on him. So why we not giving Bill O'Brien props for calling that play in the first place? Now, like I said before, and I said this in several videos, I'm not a big fan of firing the coaches. I'm not a big fan of keeping the coaches. To me, it is what it is. I'm finna give a quote that I heard Deion Sanders say. But note this though. He wasn't talking about the Texans, he was talking about the Dallas Cowboys. But he said, you can't blame the coach for what the players are doing. Fans always won't change if it don't go their way. Fans won't change. You gotta put blame on the players that's playing in between those white lines. And when he said that, I was like, thank you, Deion. Because we all know Jason Garrett's on the hot seat. And that's why he said that. But I bring that quote up because I just said Bill O'Brien called a certain play. It was dropped by Will Fuller. Deshaun Watson saw something and said, he finna go back to that same play. But this time it was caught by Kenny Stills. The same plays, but I didn't hear anybody, that's how I'm going to put it, I didn't hear anybody give props and praises to Bill O'Brien for calling that play in the first place. Because Bill O'Brien saw something and called it. It's not Bill O'Brien's fault that Will Fuller dropped it. Because like I just said, Will Fuller been having the dropsies, I guess you could say, since he was in college at Notre Dame. That was one knock on him. Yeah, he can get open. Yeah, he can blow by the defense. He got top speed, but he's known to drop passes. Anyway, so I just wanted to bring that up again. Now, also too, I forget the guy's name. I gotta go back and look at it real quick. Give me 1 second. But anyway, I forget the guy's name. But in my last video, the guy left me a comment saying about how a lot of Texans fans are negative, and I said the same thing too. I didn't hear. Okay, a lot of people know that I do videos sometimes here and there with Huncho on Salt Sports. He did a prediction video. Now I was not on that one, but he did a prediction video. And a lot of these games people said we were gonna lose, we won. A lot of these games people said we were gonna win, we won. Now, the reason why I'm bringing this up is because I just think that we gotta look at the plays that's being made. You know what I'm saying? Because the way I look at it is this here. Yeah, in this particular last game, and the reason why I keep bringing up this last game because it's fresh in everybody's mind, against the Patriots, Bradley Roby had a decent game. He had an interception. Then he had a penalty called on him for holding. Then like maybe 2 plays later, he rushed up the middle to get a sack on Tom Brady. Now bring that up to say this here. If you watch my video that I did, Houston Texans versus New England Patriots before the game, I said that's the best way to beat Tom Brady. Blitz up the middle. For some reason throughout his whole career, that's where he always been having problems. If you blitz him up the middle. See, and that's what I mean by we have to look at certain game plans and then go from there. And a lot of fans don't like to look at it that way. They just want to say win the game. I know Al Davis came over there saying a long time ago, just win, baby. Sometimes it ain't gonna go the way you want. It's just how it is. But so far in the Texans season, man, we did pretty damn good. We basically right on point with everything that I basically said was gonna end up happening. And I did predict us to win this first game against the Saints, but we ended up losing. It is what it is. Now, I did uh, I did a prediction video, and that prediction video is called Houston Texans 2019 season. What I made a prediction about what I think we're going to end up doing this whole season. Now, this was before injuries, trades, anybody getting benched or anything. For us and our opponents. So go check that video out. Tell me what you think. Now, also too, don't forget, like I said, if the Texans finish at least 11-5, because that's what I predicted us to finish at. See that mini helmet right there? I will have a giveaway on that Texans mini helmet. It's a nice helmet. I like it. That's why I got it, of course, but I like it. Now, I did get asked this question at work today. As a matter of fact, yesterday, Monday, because I was still hyped up about us beating the Patriots and stuff. A couple of people asked me that are fans of other teams, do I think the Texans are going to the Super Bowl? And my answer was, it all depends on who we play in the playoffs. And the reason why I say that, yeah, we know we got the Ravens in the AFC, we got the Patriots in the AFC, and the Bills are not doing too bad in the AFC. I haven't looked at their opponents, who they've been playing, but just going by their record. I did look up the Patriots, who they played before us, and they, nah. Of course, they're gonna have a 10-2 record because look at their opponents. Anyway, but my answer was it all depends on who we play. Now I know you're gonna say, well, we got the Ravens in the AFC, and they doing good. All it takes is one loss, and you out of it. I'm not saying that they're gonna lose. Not saying they are. They are. Or they're not. But let's just say they lose to the Steelers. Just throwing it out there. Things like that have happened before. I mean, look at when the New York Giants won their 2 Super Bowls. They badly made it into the playoffs and went all the way to beat the almighty Tom Brady twice. Beat him twice. So anything could happen. That's what I mean. So it all depends. If we game plan right, we execute right, we, don't let the moment, overwhelm us. You never know. But I did predict that we would go to the AFC Championship game. And the reason why I predicted that is because I looked at our schedule and I said, if we don't have any more major injuries, we'll be okay. We'll be okay. Now, I know J.J. Watt went down. We traded Clowney. It's like, oh my God. But, hey, it is what it is. And I like where we're at right now. Now, of course, there are some things that I think we need to clean up, and that's hurting ourselves. Because, like I mentioned before, in that Chiefs game, it was a close game. We won by a touchdown, but we could have blew them out the water if it wasn't for our own penalties. You know what I'm saying? That's just an example. I'm not going to go back over all that again. I'm going to go ahead and end this video real quick here, but I like where we're at right now, and I like what we're doing. We just need to keep it up. Now, I did predict we were going to go to the AFC Championship game, but see what happens. Hope we're not one and done like we have been the last couple of times we went to the playoffs. See what happens. That's all I can say. Now, I know a lot of people going to say, you ain't going to the AFC Championship game. And on that note, I'm going to say this here. This is your boy, Man Up. I'm going to go ahead and jump the through section. And like always, you was in the man cave. Now I got to kick you out the man cave. Holla.